Hello, I'm Karen, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you royal complex anagrams. Okay, for those of you that don't know what an anagram is, here is a sample of just a normal anagram. So this is the word notes, and it can turn into the word tones. So all you're doing is rearranging the same letters just to create a new word. Okay, so the way that the complex anagrams work, just bring you this over, is the letters of the alphabet are made up in portions. So this is how the letter R could look if you're doing it as in the English alphabet. But if you've just got sticks, you could actually make the letter R that way round. One of the things that you are allowed to do with this game is you're allowed to snap the circle into half to make two curved shapes to make the C's, which can also be turned into something like the letter S. Okay, so all you do is just literally rearrange things around. So if you wanted to make maybe the letter T, I could then just put that like that. So that's a complex anagram. So all you're doing is breaking letters of the alphabet apart and rebuilding them. And so what I've been doing over this last year is I've been sharing this. I've actually been translating from the Voynich manuscript. This is the book that I've been using. And this is a familiar page that you'll see on one of the videos, which is page 2, which I've been getting lots of the instructions and things from. Okay, and also one of the things that I've done is actually, this is cushion, which is the Queen Elizabeth I date that she actually found out that she was going to become queen. So for this, and so in the Voynich manuscript, they're all games that I've been playing. Okay, and they involve these complex anagrams. So what I've done is I've created a nice list. I'm not going to show you everything because there's way too much. But so what I'm going to do is just going to go to Queen Elizabeth I. This is the page here, and explain how this game works. So the way that this game works is you get the coronation date of a monarch. You put the numbers, just the numbers, not the forward slashes, to one side. And then using something like one of these cipher wheels, so the A equals 1, etc., going around the alphabet. And you put, so you get the numbers and you put the representative letter at the side of it. Then you snap those letters apart and you rebuild them. So as you can see here, Elizabeth is made and she's got her E's in this format. We'll just bring it up a little bit closer so that you can see. And if we turn that around, that symbol there for her letter E is also the same symbol that you would use in crochet terms to be able to make a granny pattern. If you was, so yeah, for those of you who don't know, I can actually translate the English crochet terms into American terms, but I can also translate the Voynich manuscript into crochet terms and English. So on this particular page, we've got my monarchs going in this order. So I've got Mary, Elizabeth, and then James. So as I noticed when I went back, Mary had an 8 next to her. Okay, the 8 is representing the 4mm crochet hook that we use today. Sorry for the state of this, but this is a really old gauge. I have been using the bell gauge actually for my measurements, but for this I just wanted to show with you because this has got modern things on it. So the hook, 4mm hook, is the number 8. So if I put my hook in there, it will fit. Yeah, so that is just to show you how this works. So hook number 4 is hook number 8. It is also on the bell gauge. It's number 8 if you do it that way around there, so it fits between those gaps. But it is actually number 14, which is what Queen Elizabeth was referring to. Okay, so because I could see that it went back, I went forward with the monarchs to see what I could find. But I also thought, how far can I go back? So including Queen Elizabeth, going all the way back, I've actually got a total of 26 monarchs. And you can see that they do things like, so here, this is actually Henry, this is Henry the 6th, but he's actually got Henry and a number 8, or he's got Henry I all. Okay, if you do it that way around, Edward is just Edward, and Richard is Richard, is not got the R in it. So the further I go back, so by the way, the I all 8 was something that I just kept coming across. So the further I go back, the more I kept coming across. Look, so there I've got Edward 8 again, but it's actually for Edward II. And you've got different ones that they do. So I went all the way back to the oldest monarch that was coronated. So these are all coronation dates only. So Edward the Elder was coronated on the 8th of June, 900. That's the date down the side, that's the letters. They turn into I hook. Can you see that okay? Just there, look. So that's I hook. The I can also be the letter H, which is representing the 8, just for another thing, which means that that is also representing the treble crochet stitch in the Voynich manuscript and the hook. So Edward the Elder was the son of King Alfred the Great, where our monarchs began in England in Wessex. So the other thing that you can do as well with this game is, like I said, you can snap the circle in half and make 2 C shapes. So here we can see that we've got the letters done again, and you can actually rebuild them to make the word elder. So you can see from my evidence here that they're actually using those methods. And I thought, well, I'll need extra. So I found a silver penny from Edward the Elder's era. This is how his name was appearing on the actual obverse of the coin, which turned into I, King Edward, and another 8. On the back of the coin, I personally think that that is a B, and now and so these are the letters that was on the coin. There's some pluses and there's some circles. That turns into crochet hook 8, or it can be I first crochet hook. Now I wasn't sure 100% if that is actually a letter B or whether it was a letter G. If it was a letter G, I have to lose one of these C shapes, which would mean from the 8 there, I would take those 2 lines and I would change that. So like that R that I just showed you previously, and make that type of R for the crochet there. But I wouldn't be able to make I first crochet hook if that is actually a G. So I'm just pointing that out. So I'm not trying to make this fit. I'm just trying to say that's what I could see, and that's how it would alter it. But you'd still get crochet hook 8, and it would just be a lowercase I just there. Okay, so moving on to my ultimate favourite monarch out of all of these, or should I say monarchs. So our current, so if you're just skipping through, so I just wanted you to see that even Queen Elizabeth, she did her Elizabeth the same way as Queen Elizabeth. So Queen Elizabeth II did her capital E the same way as Queen Elizabeth I, which was another clue for me. But she also did her lowercase version. So just hold that up so you can just see that there. So that's a coronation date and the sample there. But my ultimate favourite is our current King Charles and his wife Camilla. Okay, so we've got Charles and Camilla. Their coronation date is the 6th of February this year, 2023. These are the letters, and using that same method of breaking the circle in half to represent the 2 C's, we can create I, Charles, or it can be Charles 3, and it turns into is Camilla. So if I wanted to combine them both together, so the 3 and the is, if you rebuild those, they create the word and it actually makes Charles and Camilla. So I've got 44 different monarchs that are using exactly the same method, and they're on coins from our ancient history. So I just want to say, I do believe that this royal complex anagrams is actually a thing. It's the crochet is the root of our English letters, and that the monarchs actually was playing these games in the ancient history that sort of came all the way through and actually ultimately ended up hidden inside our language. And I spent probably 6 years trying to work out what a complex anagram was and to actually be able to name it. But then that does mean that all of the methods that I've been using inside the actual Voynich manuscript where I've been doing it are all correct. Oh, look at that. I've opened it up there. This one's got the face in the middle, which always reminds me of Queen Elizabeth and her lace collar that she was wearing. I haven't translated that one though. But yeah, so that's all I wanted to say. So thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for subscribing. I want to wish you all a very, very Merry Christmas. Ta-da, little tree. And a Happy New Year. And I do hope that I will be able to see you in the new year with some lovely new patterns. I'd love to share with you how to make the cushion for, this is Queen Elizabeth I's cushion. I'd love to be able to give them their correct titles. But as we know, this secret is actually 1,123 years old, which also happens to turn into I or late. But whether they're actually going to be able to confirm that to me now or not, I don't know. But in the future, we could see, do they still use the same method, or will they stop it? So thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for subscribing. Bye for now.